D-Ro, he also told J.P. Morosi that he may have felt like he was getting beaten on the fastball earlier in the season, and he really wanted to shore that up. But whatever he's working on, man, it really manifested himself quite nicely last night.
Yeah, Max Wildstein does an amazing job with the notes. Him and Eric Nays, they kill these skyboxes. I'm just out here kind of giving you the information that they bring to me. It's funny you say that. He was getting beat by the heater early, but he's absolutely pounded the off-speed pitching, and we will get into that a little later in this tape. I think the thing I want to get into is the fact that so much pressure has been thrust on him. He signs the 6 for 140, and I know he signed to play second base, but is he kind of signed in case Xander Bogaerts leaves as well? So a lot of pressure thrust on him in a big spotlight coming from Colorado. He's certainly athletic enough and talented enough to handle it, but he only had 11 spring training at-bats. So I think we got to pump the brakes for a split second on jumping on guys after 2 bad weeks, okay? We're ready to send Julio Rodriguez from Seattle back down after 10 days. Give it a rest for a minute and let these guys breathe. Look at him. First 24 games, he was hitting $1.94. No home runs, a 276 on base. Obviously not slugging. His weighted runs created plus was below average big league player at 100. And now look, all of a sudden in 9 games, 5 homers and everyone can rest easy. He could start sleeping a little bit easier. So I want to dive into the 3 home runs, okay? Take you through the mindset of Trevor Story at the plate right here, because he is starting to put it together. And if he can handle a heater and power the off-speed pitch the way he's been doing in the early part of the year, big things are happening when this weather warms up. So let me take you inside, okay? Pause this real quick. Bottom 2, Seattle's got a lead 4-0. I got Mr. George Kirby on the mound. Feeling frisky, right? Got a big-time lead in Fenway. I'm sure he grew up in upstate New York thinking about pitching in Boston, no doubt. Run this. So he goes waste heater in, pause. 4-0 lead. If I'm Trevor Story, I'm like, nobody on base, 1-0 count. I got count leverage. He'll come see me. He feels good about his heater. Run it. Got him. Middle of the plate, 95, and now I'm getting loose. I'm 1 for 1 with a bomb. Second AB. Little slider off the plate. This is a good pitch right here. Tight slider off the plate. Pause. This is where it gets tricky for me. I'd be all over a piece of cheese again, even though I took him deep my first AB. It's 4-2. Maybe Kirby's thinking, I can't give him a heater right here in this spot. I'm going to maybe pull something off speed and try and steal a strike. Story's thinking the same thing. Change up 85. That's just great hitting on the part of Trevor Story, not cheating to anything. Now he gets this funky lefty, Mr. Young right here. He goes 87 sinker away, little change up 83 dirt ball, 90 mile an hour, and pause. He's not picking up his heater right here. You can tell. 87 he took, 90 he swung right through like it was 95 miles an hour. Keep running. Sometimes you got to create, but what does he do? Run that back. I think this is a bad pitch selection. Even if he executes this pitch, I don't think Trevor Story's swinging at it. He's asking for this pitch down and away. He arm side runs it. See you later, change up. That's a guy who's feeling really good at the plate, sitting back on heater, and 3-homer game real quick. Last one to do it in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Pause this. Get me to Pedroia at the plate, side angle, please. Right there, leave it. Last guy to have a 3-homer game as a second baseman, Boston Red Sox. We had to go back to 2010. The 2008 AL MVP, Dustin Pedroia, one of the best to ever do it. Run it. And then Bobby Doerr did it in 1950, but we would have crashed the system if we went back and tried to find that. And it's funny, Colorado. Trevor comes from Colorado. So after this, pause real quick. I want to go into some sound. 2019, we actually had Trevor here at the Skybox. And I think what he does, talking about getting loaded, whether it's a toe tap, whether it's a leg kick, whether guys just sit spread and just don't stride, I think Trevor Story's got this kind of hover move, and he came in to discuss it. Take a listen. I almost feel like you toe tap, but you never set your foot down.
Yeah, that's I think in high school I had a bigger leg kick, and You know, I had some timing issues with that, trouble being on time with the heater. So this move right here is something that was pretty natural for me. So I just, you know, it's kind of like a toe tap, but I never really do hit the ground.
Hit the ground.
It's kind of, I call it a hover. So
you come up with this, run this.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I kind of just start open, and when I step in, that's the natural move of my leg. So I feel like I can put it down anytime I want, or I can ride it out if I need to on a breaking ball.
Game of constant adjustments, right? He started messing around with this stuff in high school. So I wanted to take a look if he's doing anything different in a Colorado uniform and Boston uniform. Run this. No real change here. I love that hover piece, especially if he's talking about, I have the ability to set it down whenever I want, and I can ride it out against the off speed. And when you dive into the numbers, that's exactly what he's been doing. Roflo talked about him hitting the heater. Those are his 2 home runs of his 5 on off-speed pitches. So Capalbs, bring up the final board and show how he's destroying. Look at this, his average first 24 games, 218. This is versus non-fastballs. He's hitting 438. His last 4 home runs have come on off-speed pitches and slugging almost 1,200. So that includes cutters. Listen, give the man a second to get loose. He just threw a 3-homer night at you. It's going to warm up in Boston. They are going to be fine. We're not giving up on the Red Sox yet. Alex Cora, the boys will figure it out. They gotta move the pieces around a little bit.
It's so interesting. His front foot falls out when he takes his stride. It's almost like he's off balance, but it works.
As long as you don't get here, Lauren, my son goes through this problem where it's almost like he opens up and his hip's gone. As long as you can hover and give yourself, you're going to land a little open, but you can't just lose your hip.